NPA head Shamila Batoy is finalizing the leadership team of the National Prosecuting Authority. This past week, President Cyril Ramaphosa appointed her 4 new deputies and 3 directors. What does this mean for the NPA and its prosecutions this year? Joining me now is its spokesperson, Sipho Ngwema. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. So the NPA has been plagued by leadership struggles and political interference for more than 20 years. The hope is that under the leadership of Shamila Batoy, the NPA will stabilize and finally be in a position to prosecute those charged with grand-scale corruption, gender-based violence, as well as many other crimes. But one woman, of course, can't do it all alone. How significant are these recent appointments?
Can you say that again? You are very soft.
I apologize. I'm asking about the significance of the appointments over this past week of these 4 new deputies and 3 additional directors.
Good afternoon to you and your listeners and your viewers. Thank you very much. It's very important towards and a very critical step in terms of restoring the credibility of the NPA and returning the confidence that the people had in the NPA. You must remember, we need to demonstrate that we have good leadership, and I think these appointments demonstrate diversity, transformation, and empowerment of women in particular. However, when it comes to the NPA itself and the leadership, we need to make sure that we have leadership that has got the required skills to take the vision of the NPA forward, and I think these appointments are a demonstration that the NPA is consolidating. We are getting good people with good credibility and therefore are able to take the vision of the NPA forward.
Among the new appointees, Advocate Anton du Plessis, he's received a lot of media attention over the past few days. What part of the NPA's vision is he being entrusted to implement?
Advocate du Plessis joins as the 4th Deputy National Director and is going to be responsible for strategy, but also is going to be responsible for compliance and operational issues of the NPA. And strategy is very important because it encompasses the vision of the NPA to make sure that we are able to achieve all the things that the NPA is set out to achieve. And therefore, his appointment in particular is very important in that regard. And he's got experience. Of course, he used to work for the NPA before. He went to the UN, he went to ISS, and therefore he brings back quite valuable experience in terms of being able to lead in that regard to assist the NPA to achieve the objectives that we have set for ourselves for the future.
The Specialized Commercial Crimes Unit, Sexual Offences and Community Affairs Unit and the Asset Forfeiture Unit now also have permanent leaders. The public has long waited for an effective prosecuting authority. When can we expect to see major cases brought to trial and convictions being secured?
In fact, the 3 other advocates that have been appointed, particularly in sexual offences, asset forfeiture and in Specialized Commercial Crimes Unit, they were in the NPA, so a lot of work is being done. They are going to hit the road running. They know the amount of work that is facing them. There's a lot of work that is being done, particularly last year. So there's still going to be a number of cases that are going to be brought forward with regards to corruption, particularly under the Specialized Commercial Crimes Unit. Of course, sexual offences, it's a very important unit of the National Prosecuting Authority. As you know, the critical issues that are facing us with regards to women and children, the abuse thereof. And the last one, which is Asset Forfeiture Unit, amongst the issues that we want to achieve as the National Prosecuting Authority is to take out profit out of crime. And the Asset Forfeiture Unit had started already last year to make sure that almost everyone, if not everyone, that is charged for corruption, for commercial offences, the asset forfeiture provisions are applied to those cases so that, as I said earlier, we take out profit out of crime in terms of those kinds of offences.
Is the NPA now free from political interference?
Look, it's a process we have started last year to make sure, we have started since the appointment of the National Director, to make sure that the NPA frees itself out of any political influence. Of course, There are issues before the Zondo Commission. The National Director is committed to make sure that everything possible is done. We have started. We think that it's not an event. It's time to make sure that those things, if there are any remnants of any influence or any other influence that is not in the interest of the law, that does not take into account of the merits of the case, those things are eradicated. But of course, the Commission is investigating. The NPA is putting together mechanism to make sure that there's an integrity in the NPA, there's honesty amongst its officials, and ethics are the order of the day in the organization. So we'll know as time progresses that indeed the amount of work that is being put now is going to bear fruit. And we have no doubt that with time, those things we should be able to achieve. But I must say, in terms of our operations now, I don't see any political influence. I see commitment in terms of our leadership at national level. So in that regard, there isn't any. However, you would never know that probably in some of the corners, you may have those kinds of things that need to be eradicated. So we're working on those things.
Well, thank you very much. Certainly the public has big expectations of you. That was Sipho Ngwema, spokesperson for the NPA.